Hi, I'm Sean. Welcome to my channel. Please use the timestamps below for your sun and rising sign, but I suggest you listen to the introduction and some tips on handling the square. On September 17th, Venus forms a challenging square to Jupiter, a cosmic tension between two of the most beneficial planets in astrology. Two positive planets forming a negative square is unusual energy, so let's see what we can understand about this transit. Venus rules love, beauty, pleasure, and finances, while Jupiter governs expansion, optimism, and abundance. This is a positive combination. But when these planets are in square, there's a tendency to go overboard, leading to overindulgence, misplaced optimism, or financial strain. Understanding how to navigate this transit can help you find balance during this period. Here are the primary themes of this transit overindulgence in pleasure. The desire for comfort, pleasure, and indulgence in luxury can peak. Whether it's spending more on beauty, lavish meals, or romantic gestures, Venus square Jupiter can make it hard to resist temptations. Watch out for impulsive purchases and emotional overinvestment in relationships. Jupiter tends to inflate whatever it touches, and when in a difficult aspect with Venus, it can exaggerate your expectations in love and finances. You may overestimate what you can afford, both in material and emotional investments. It's essential to ground your optimism with realism. Financial challenges. With Venus governing finances and Jupiter amplifying things, this square can trigger risky financial decisions. Overspending or making ill-advised investments could result from overconfidence. It's important to practice caution in managing your resources during this period. In relationships, this transit can bring friction between what you desire, Venus, and what is realistically achievable, Jupiter. There's a risk of being overly generous or expecting too much from others. Balancing give and take is crucial. Here are some tips for navigating this transit. Set boundaries on spending. While the urge to splurge may be strong, especially on luxury or unnecessary items, it's wise to set a budget beforehand. Keep track of financial priorities and avoid making impulsive purchases that could strain your finances long term. Ground your optimism. It's fine to dream big, but be cautious about over-promising or over-committing, especially in financial or relationship matters. Make sure that your plans are realistic and achievable, rather than overinflated by a temporary wave of enthusiasm. Practice moderation. This transit will test your ability to enjoy life's pleasures without going overboard. Whether it's indulgent food, luxury purchases, or romantic gestures, practice moderation to avoid burnout or regret later. Avoid the tendency to overextend yourself in love or assume too much about others' affections. Lastly, reflect on long-term goals. Take this time to reassess your long-term goals in both financial and emotional areas. So now let's look at each star sign. Hi Aries. Venus in the 5th house of creativity and romance squares Jupiter in the 8th house of shared finances and transformation. You may feel an urge to spend extravagantly on romantic gestures or creative projects. While your passion for love and fun is heightened, be cautious of taking financial risks involving joint investments or loans. Avoid overextending yourself in shared financial matters. Here is a tip. Balance your desire for fun with careful financial planning. Consider long-term impacts before making impulsive financial commitments. Hi Taurus. Venus in the 4th house of home and family squares. Jupiter in the 7th house of partnerships and marriage. Your focus may be on beautifying your home or indulging your family, but this could create tension in your partnerships. You might want to do too much for others, leading to emotional or financial strain in your relationships. Here is a tip. Set clear boundaries with family and partners regarding expenses or shared responsibilities. Balance generosity with practicality. Gemini, with Venus in the 3rd house of communication and learning squaring Jupiter in the 6th house of work and health, you may feel overly optimistic about learning new skills, taking on multiple projects, or improving your daily routine. However, there's a risk of spreading yourself too thin at work or neglecting your health in the process. A tip for you: prioritize your mental and physical well-being. Avoid overpromising at work or committing to too many projects. Cancer, Venus in the 2nd house of finances and values squaring Jupiter in the 5th house of creativity and pleasure might make you feel a strong temptation to spend lavishly on hobbies, children, or romantic experiences. While pleasure and creativity are important, your financial resources may be stretched thin. So here's a tip: focus on budgeting before indulging in luxury purchases. Stay mindful of balancing fun with financial security. Leo, with Venus in the first house of identity and self-image squaring Jupiter in the fourth house of home and family, you may feel drawn to invest in your appearance or personal brand, potentially going overboard with self-care or luxury items. At the same time, family or home-related financial matters may require attention, creating tension between personal desires and household responsibilities. Here is a useful tip: balance self-indulgence with practical decisions regarding home and family expenses. Avoid overspending on appearances. Virgo. Venus in the 12th house, which governs spirituality and solitude, is square Jupiter in the 3rd house, which rules communication and community. This transit may bring a conflict between your desire for solitude or spiritual fulfillment and your need to be active in your local community or communicate effectively. You may feel emotionally indulgent, seeking escape through fantasy or relaxation. Here a tip: create a balance between personal time and social obligations. Avoid retreating too much into solitude or over-promising in communication. Libra. Venus in the 11th house, which covers friendships and social networks, is square Jupiter in the 2nd house, which deals with finances and values. You may feel a strong desire to indulge in social activities or contribute generously to group causes. While being a social butterfly, you must watch for overspending on social events or neglecting your financial priorities. Tip: set financial limits for social activities. Ensure that your generosity aligns with your long-term financial goals. Scorpio. Venus in the 10th house, which governs career and reputation, is square Jupiter in the 1st house, which rules self and identity. You may be tempted to go big in your career or public image, potentially making grand gestures to impress others. While your ambition is high, ensure that you're not overextending yourself in pursuit of recognition or success. Here is a tip: stay grounded in your career ambitions. Avoid taking on too much in an attempt to enhance your public image. Sagittarius. Venus in the 9th house, which governs travel and higher learning, squares Jupiter in the 12th house, associated with spirituality and solitude. You may be drawn to grand adventures, travel, or higher education, but there's a risk of feeling overwhelmed by the urge to escape reality or indulge in spiritual fantasies. Watch for overindulgence in escapism or losing touch with practical concerns. Here is a tip: balance your spiritual or educational pursuits with practical planning. Avoid impulsive decisions regarding travel or studies. Capricorn. Venus in the 8th house, dealing with shared finances and transformation, squares Jupiter in the 11th house, which covers friendships and social networks. This transit may trigger a conflict between managing shared resources and participating in group ventures. You might feel drawn to make large financial commitments to social causes or friends, which could strain your personal resources. Here is a tip: be cautious about merging finances or overextending yourself in social circles. Maintain clear financial boundaries. Aquarius. Venus in the 7th house, which focuses on partnerships and marriage, squares Jupiter in the 10th house, related to career and reputation. You may face tension between your relationships and career aspirations. While you may feel an urge to invest heavily in your partnership or social life, your professional life could demand significant attention, causing strain in one area or the other. Here is a tip: balance your career goals with the needs of your relationships. Avoid making career decisions that negatively impact your personal life. Pisces. Venus in the 6th house, governing work and health, squares Jupiter in the 9th house, which is about travel and higher learning. This transit may lead to over-optimism in work-related matters, especially when considering higher education or travel for work. You may feel stretched between your desire for self-improvement and the daily demands of your job or health routines. Here is a tip: prioritize your well-being and be realistic about how much you can take on. Avoid overextending yourself with too many new commitments.